Welcome to another interesting day on planet Earth. And interesting because it's taken me about 5 minutes or so to think whether I would actually do a live video or whether I'd put a blank screen and just talk to it. Because as you probably already know or don't know, all our social media is taking images of our biometrics and then copying it to the server as an avatar in their AI world. But that's not me. I'm not the type of person who will give in to my fears. In fact, I've always had a bit of a rebel streak in me. Now, I remember the time when I was practically my first job where I was working at the Gas and Fuel Corporation, and I was on the floor with about 100 other girls, a bit like ants in a city, or bees in a hive, where we were busily in the customer service dealing with everybody. And at the front, in the center, just like a queen operates her hive, a beehive, was the managers of our apartment. And what was interesting was often they'd have a guy turn up who would sit with us by our terminals. We'd go through all the customer service and teach them about what was happening. And then they were installed as team leaders as well. So from the moment we got there and sat down, everything was registered on the computer. When we got up to go to the bathroom or have a short break, or even if we got up to look at the manual registers of all the customers, we'd have to write down exactly what we were doing and where we were in the department. And for me, I thought that was a great evasion of, just my life. And I was not very good at following orders. I was compliant because that's what they've taught us to do, but I just hated being told, why are you late? Where have you been? What were you doing? And I was never really good. So I suppose that's why in my early 20s, I stepped out of that and became a mother to escape the system in some way. But we can't escape the system. And for those who are listening to this, you probably have a similar, if not the same light that's happening in your heart that has this rebellious streak in you, that when you hear an outer world agenda, something inside of you, like a light, goes on and goes, no, that's not me. As I feel there's many on the planet at the moment are feeling like that. And you've probably heard me over the years talk about, this week's agenda. And it's almost like that. So something that I followed probably before the pandemic, or just at the start of the pandemic, was a series called The Fall of the Cabal, which basically went into everything, what's happened, where, in different areas. And I won't go into it too much. But I shared that. I asked one day in my Telegram group, I said, who would like to go down the rabbit hole? And everybody said me. And so I sent them the series link, and and then a few people started to drop off because they weren't ready to or didn't want to hear what was happening in the world. They just, couldn't believe that this sort of thing would go on. But that doesn't stop me from sharing because, like many, I have this need for people to understand. It's probably why I've ended up teaching consciousness technologies of especially Grigori Grabovoi. And because they're about the foundation of life, they're about putting us in the driver's seat of our life, they're about us taking control, and also aligning with our soul, aligning with the Creator, and understanding we're not alone in this journey. And because of that, I'm going to just share a little bit here what I found out by a recent release of one of the other episodes, which looked at AI technology and transhumanism. Now, they might be new topics for you, but if you listen to some of the people from the WHO or the World Economic Forum, and to quote, "You will own nothing and be happy." And that's exactly what's happening at the moment. They're taking away the property rights of people. And currently in Australia, we have what is coming up would be the voice for the Aboriginal first Indigenous race to give them a voice as if they've not had a voice. And you should see the propaganda. It's almost as good as the thing they poked in your arm over and the propaganda. And if you don't get that, we'll come to your door and we'll force you. All the fear that was going on. But so similar to this, in this time, it's about really giving away ownership, and so that we can be the slave race that we were designed to be according to the World Economic Forum and the WHO. And in fact, we are worthless bottom dwellers who are designed to eat crickets at some stage. So you can see I'm nicely charged up by it. But anyway, interesting about transhumanism and what Yusuf Harari tells us in his video. He's not scared about saying it. And in this episode of The Fall of the Cabal, which I'll put the link underneath, he will tell you, basically, the idea is that humans are obsolete. And in fact, if they can upload our consciousness into AI, how much better things will be, because we'll become superhuman. A bit like how Meta, Facebook, would like us to have our own avatar and go into an invisible world, and this little screen across our eyes will transport us into realms that we will feel happy in, all in a way to convince, unfortunately, children and maybe adults that, you know what, Earth isn't worth living in. Let's go in and live in a virtual world where everything's happy and I'm all happy and I've got superpowers. So it's a very real program. It's in Agenda 2030 if you decide to go and have a look at that and what they've got planned. But anyway, as a truth teller, I'm compelled to leave this video underneath so that you can have a look at that. And I think it's what, as I said, inspires me to be more vocal in mediums like this and to share without any repercussions of what will happen to me, or they'll be after me, or I'll be targeted, or whatever it is. I'm always fairly well censored on what I can say. But one of the important things I want to get across here is that it's what makes my mission so important. It's to give you the power and to understand the power of your consciousness. You need to know the difference between what's the real you and what's the fake avatar that's made up, because there is absolute blurring of the lines. But more so, I put in your hands the tools of creation and the power of the invisible realms that we can't see, that gives you an innate feeling within you that you can't be controlled, that nothing will stop the light in your soul, the light of your heart, being such a strong flame to attract like-minded people around you to also step in your space so that you can support them, or even turn up the light, which seems to be so dimmed in so many people across the planet. Now, July is going to be an interesting month. We're going to see far more things come out because we are in the grand awakening, and it's probably going to shock a lot of people. I know Mel Gibson back in 2000, and I think it was 18 or 19, did a movie that's just being released called The Sound of Freedom on the 4th of July. Fitting time. I love how the dates sort of tie in together. And so dates and words are very significant, especially in this Earth game and what we're seeing roll out from the dark forces that exist here, unfortunately. And so the Sound of Freedom is all about the children. And I think if you were looking at, if you had to look everything from polarized, like the good guys or the bad guys, from that perspective, how would you wake up humanity? How would you wake up humanity? Well, I'm a mama bear, just like lots of people, and you come and want to touch my children, and my inner lioness absolutely comes to the front. And I think maybe this is what will assist people to understand that 8 million children across the world go missing every year, and nobody even blinks and says, I wonder where they go. And so, like Mel Gibson, like many others on the planet, we are doing our very best to help to bring like-minded people together and also to wake them up. So this month, for the second time, I'm going to run an online and also a seminar at the same time. So I'll be running a dual seminar webinar called Soul Code, which is the fundamentals of Grigori Grabovoy's teachings, where I hand you the toolbox and put the power in your hands so that it really can start to be the creator of your world and start to harmonize any of the distortions that are turning up in your field. This is a very much inside, outside game. So instead of trying to run around saving people on the planet from a physical level, you do it from the inside world. So when you harmonize firstly, you harmonize your world. Secondly, you harmonize the world around you and you affect the field. And this is how we harness our consciousness and make a very strong change, because it's our consciousness that we've been at war with the power systems. They absolutely know how powerful we are, even down to the fact that, they tell us we have 2 strands of DNA, the rest are junk, as if the creator or source or universe or God would just create junk within us. It's crazy. So what's happening at the moment is our awakening of our other strands of DNA. And there are at least 24 strands of DNA, if not more. So please, if you wonder what we do and you want to discover a little bit more, we'll be launching into that with also Grigori Grabovoy's device, PRK1U, which is a device of eternity, but basically it allows you the technology to look at how your consciousness is perceiving and thinking, and then it removes some of the distortion. So you're actually getting a benefit of 2. You're getting the training, but you're also helping to remove this, the distortions by Grigori Grabovoy's device. So whether you join us online or whether you join us in the live seminar, it is on Saturday the 22nd and Sunday the 23rd in Australia on the East Coast, and obviously late in the afternoon for the US, and unfortunately the UK, you'll be probably asleep, and Europe, but that's okay. We record our sessions so that the people who are coming on to the webinar get a chance to review it again and be very much part of that. Now, on top of that, we've got our upcoming fortnightly New Earth Academy of Eternity classes. Of course, we've been using the PRK1U, and always an interesting theme as we really come together as a beautiful small community and discuss the certain topics, and not just always about healing, but, we talk things about AI and transhumanism and things like that, so that we're all evolving together and understanding, in our soul, within our consciousness, we say, no, this will not happen. It's not on my timeline. I won't be part of that. And that's really what it takes us to, with strong volition, to say that and basically say, I do not consent, because it's the absence of you not saying anything that gives them the right to do anything they want. These interesting dark forces that we've been on the planet for thousands of years. But anyway, enough of that. I'll also put our website details down below so that you can go and explore exactly what we cover in our Soul Code seminar webinar. In the meantime, please subscribe and like here, share the information, because social media makes sure that it doesn't go to the people it used to. So it's really, I'm handing, in essence, and asking for assistance from you to share this information with others that you think who would benefit or who would like it. So I guess that's all for me for this moment, and have a beautiful day, people, and I'll catch up with you soon. Lots of love. Bye.